Hey everyone, Brian Christman here. Welcome to my YouTube channel for my book, The Gospel in the Dock. Today I want to present the fourth incident in this mock trial in the beginning part of the introduction to my book, which is a mock trial of the Gospel in the Dock. And the prosecutor here selects this incident from, it's actually drawn from Till We Have Faces by C.S. Lewis, and I worked it into as if this is a historical account that he puts it on the same par as any truly, the Bible's accounts. This is just another account in his mind of the gospel that obviously puts the gospel in the dock. Now, this is a tale of two sisters. It's a retelling of the myth of Cupid and Psyche. And there's these two sisters, and the one is the queen, and the other is this one here. And she is actually ends up having miraculous powers, and people are healed from her, but then sort of a plague comes after that, and they blame that on her, and so they deem that, well, the logical thing to do is to sacrifice her to the gods. And she, though, survives this ordeal, and she becomes, in her mind, her sister finds her out in the wilderness, and she claims that she's been betrothed to this monster god out in the wilderness, and she lives in his palace. So here's a picture of the palace up here in the desolate wilderness where she claims to have this relationship with this god now. And the sister comes and is the voice of reason and tries to get her to come to her senses. This is all delusion. Tries to get her to come to her senses, come back to civilization. So they're pictures of the sister here is the picture of the Christian who's living a delusional life with a fantasy world up high in the sky of this castle and this God who we're all betrothed to and destined to live with forever. And, we're in this love relationship with him. So here's the reading. And I do refer to this reading several times in the book. I looked in the index and I've got 5 to 6 places where I discuss more of this and more of the details of it. So like I said, this is all introductory at this level. So the fourth incident, Orual and Psyche, two pagan sisters. And this is the excerpt from the book. "Have done with it, Psyche," I said sharply. This is the other sister speaking. "Where is this god? Where are the palaces?" "Nowhere, in your fancy. Where is he? Show him to me. What is he like?" She looked a little aside and spoke lower than ever, but very clear, and as if all that had yet passed between us were of no account, beside the gravity of what she was now saying. "Oh, Orual," she said, "not even I have seen him yet. He comes to me only in the holy darkness." Now the prosecutor takes this evidence, and this presents his case against it. The fourth report comes from a supposed historical record of the lives of an honorable queen and her childlike sister, made known by the puzzlingly popular 20th century Christian author C.S. Lewis, who to most seemed a culturally anachronistic dinosaur. That was actually Lewis's self-description. This, once again, archaic story is from the dank dark of history, and this time from a wholly uncivilized land with ravenous mountain gods receiving human sacrifices to boot. In fact, Psyche was offered up to the god as the obviously logical thing to do, to appease the plague fallen upon the people, just as Jonah was so primitively sacrificed to the storm god. But rather than being consumed by this god, Psyche claimed to have become his betrothed and lived in his glorious palace. Of course, when Orual visits her delusional sister, clothed in rags in the wilderness, she asks her, "Where is this god? Where are the palaces?" "Nowhere, in your fancy." And then Psyche lets go the real shocker. "Oh, Orual," she says, "not even I have seen him yet. He comes to me only in the holy darkness." These accused persons of the gospel, Isaiah, Jonah, Irenaeus, Psyche, along with the gospel's multitude of rather boring and less colorful characters, all hold in common such obviously deranged claims. And so we conclude that the reasonable people of the world have done well to place them and the gospel in the dock. But we must render the well-deserved verdict: guilty. In regard to a few minor individual cases that we were already settled out of court through the death penalty, the defense repeatedly claims that of them the world was not worthy. But the prosecution counter-replies that they were obviously not worthy of our world. Now the defense, meaning the gospel, people who were, the cases were settled out of court, is a way of me saying that some people have been martyred previously to this trial. The defense says, of them the world was not worthy, of these martyrs the world was not worthy. That's what the book of Hebrews says. But the prosecution counter replies, they were obviously not worthy of our world. In other words, the world is the world of the rational, of man without God, and of our world, the world is not worthy to those that have this fabricated fantasy world of God, and so that's why the gospel is in the dock. So that's a rich account. It's a fantastic book, probably one of Lewis's best. He thought it was his best book himself. Fantastic novel, and I get into it more in the book and into some of the intricacies of the things that are lying behind that. So thanks again for stopping in, and I have one more account. Cain and Abel is going to be the 5th account, and that becomes a really master account. Basically Cain is showing the way of the will to power as against Abel in the way of faith. So at any rate, thanks for stopping back.